Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it is time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. Looks like Disney could get its teeth handed to it. Them. Pretty soon, Nelson Peltz is teaming up with the former Disney CFO, Jay Rasulo. Ooh. Now, Jay Rasulo has been with the company or was with the company for a very long time. In fact, he was the next in line to be CEO at one point. And he actually came in under Michael Eisner, and he loves Disney a great deal. And he said that the Disney he knows and loves has lost its way.
Yes, that's what we keep trying to tell people.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't hate Disney. Everybody's like, we want to watch Disney burn. Like, no, we don't. We want to see it fixed. If it's fixable. If it's not fixable, then yeah, burn it down. But if it's fixable, which it could be, that's what we want. We want Disney to be what Disney used to be.
So apparently he does too. So we're going to talk about this because this guy has been nominated for a board seat with Peltz's Triumph Partners. And I think things are going to get real. And I have to wonder, this is my personal opinion. I think they're looking at him to push him as the next CEO.
I don't know. There's not enough information to make that claim. For sure.
I'm speculating that could be the case.
It makes sense.
He was at one point in time, he was supposed to be one of the guys that were next in line, and that was Tom Staggs, and then it was Kevin Mayer. But Jay Rasulo made the most sense. He was with the company for a very long time. He was in charge of the parks, both here and overseas at one point. We're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to shopclownfish.com. I reactivated the second chance offer for Crimson Wren and previously on Clownfish TV. I do need to change the date on this, but we have some of these books left. If you guys missed out, this is the second chance, I guess.
Yeah, basically there's some books left if you want to grab them. There's not as many previously on Clownfish TV as there are Shadowbind or Crimson Wren.
Yeah, so these are in stock. They're ready to ship. They'll probably be shipped out within a week of you ordering them.
Okay,
so,
good. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Got to pimp stuff. So let's talk about Jay Rasulo first, and we'll talk about this proxy fight. So Jay Rasulo was the CFO of Disney for a long time. He's been with the company a very long time. In fact, he was in charge, I believe, of Parks and Resorts from October 2005 to December 2009, when he switched positions with Tom Staggs.
Which he left,
And Staggs left, and he went with Kevin Mayer and formed Candle Media, which is now failing, by the way. But he was also in charge of Euro Disney at one point, and he's been with the company, I think it was 98 or
86.
86, yeah. But he's been, I guess he has. Director within corporate strategic planning. But he actually had leadership position since the 90s. The guy's been working, or he did work under Eisner, so he is an old head. He's old school Disney. He was there when Disney was making the stuff that we all love now. And Peltz is bringing him in potentially as a nominee for a board position along with himself. So this is interesting. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter, just broke today. Disney activist fight escalates as Nelson Peltz nominates former CFO Jay Rasulo for a board seat.
Yeah, what's Disney going to say? No, we don't want our former, CFO.
Who's very qualified, by the way.
Who's been with the company for years on the board. That would be like, why don't you? Why would you not? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, he seems like he'd be a good fit for the board.
He would be a good fit for CEO. And that might be the problem, because I think this guy could totally do it. He was a CFO of Disney until 2015, and then McCarthy.
Cruella came in.
Cruella came in. So Jay Rasulo, who was once seen as one of Disney CEO Bob Iger's heir apparents at the company, has been nominated for a seat on the company's board by Triumph Partners. As expected, Triumph also nominated Nelson Peltz for a board seat. They said that wasn't going to happen.
Who said it wasn't going to happen?
People were speculating that Nelson Peltz wasn't going to nominate himself.
Oh, no, I always thought he was going to nominate himself.
So, yeah.
They said, I knew they were after multiple seats. Originally, they thought it would be him and his son. I already figured he'd nominate himself. That was a given, I thought.
Again, this is just pure speculation on my part. But if I were going to push for Bob Iger to name an heir, I'd be like, hey, this guy's here. And he's got lots of experience, Bob. And he actually, at one point in time, was going to be the Disney CEO. So why don't we push for him? They said they're kicking off a new proxy battle with the company. It's not clear which current Disney board members Triumph will boot. This is what Jay Rasulo said. He said, the Disney I know and love has lost its way.
Yes.
As independent voices in the boardroom, Nelson and I are confident that the combination of my decades of experience with Disney, Nelson's significant boardroom skills and history of driving positive strategic change, and our combined consumer brand expertise and financial acumen will be additive to the Disney board.
I can't see how he's not additive.
He absolutely is.
Yeah, so I guess he left in 2015 because they made Stags COO, which is funny because Stags left not long after that.
Yeah.
And then,
I remember this. So we were actually doing the Pirates and Princesses podcast at the time.
I remember where we were when we recorded it.
And it was basically like a pissing match to see who was going to be the next head of Disney. And both these guys were ass mad.
They both left.
They both left. And then Kevin Mayer left after he thought, he was probably led to believe he was going to be CEO. He builds Disney Plus, or he oversees that.
Disney Plus, yes.
And then they get rid of him too, or he leaves and goes to TikTok for like 6 months or whatever.
No, it was like a month. It wasn't very long. He was gone. He was there, and then he was gone from there too.
So Trian began to outline the argument it intends to make as it pushes for the board seats. Peltz's firm praised the company for its IP, consumer loyalty, misplaced consumer loyalty, by the way, and enviable commercial flywheel, but also argued that Disney has woefully underperformed its peers and its potential. All right, so this is what Trian wrote on Thursday. The root cause of Disney's underperformance, in our view, is a board that is too closely connected to a long-tenured CEO and too disconnected from shareholder interests.
I don't disagree.
So they're basically saying what we've been saying, and I don't think they're getting it from us, but they need to gut Disney. They need to gut Disney at this point. They need to put people in that actually care about Disney being the best Disney it can be. And Bob Iger was just a guy he was a board. He went out and he just bought a bunch of stuff and mismanaged
not just that, when they brought Chapek in, because they had different styles, and he was mad about it because Chapek wasn't going to just let him just run the company and he be his puppet. That's what he tried for a while. Then when Chapek would ask him for, what he was there for, to help for guidance, he would just be like, whatever, I don't know. And he was deliberately, according to this, what they were saying, putting out there, he wasn't putting the company first, he was putting his ego first. And then we had, people like Susan Arnold that were, chairperson.
Activism first.
Yeah, it was putting their personal interests first. There's a lot of people that just keep wanting to put their personal interests first, not the interests of the company.
I mean, Iger's sitting there writing his biography, his autobiography.
Two of them.
When the company's starting to come off the rails. Like, now is not the time, Bob. Actually, never is the time. Why are you even, what arrogant son of a bitch writes an autobiography about how great they are?
Call it the ride of a lifetime.
And call it the ride of a lifetime. Yeah, this is the big drop at the end. And I do believe, before it's all said and done, if they get their way, if Trian Partners gets their way, I think they're going to push for Iger to get ousted. Because
he got himself an extension again. When he's supposed to come in for a couple of years, fix it, and leave. No, now he's there in 2026.
So what is he? The fucking emperor of Disney? Is that who he is? He thinks he's the emperor of Disney?
He is the Senate.
He is the Senate. I am the Borg.
Yeah, so.
He's the Borg and the board. No, I think it's a huge threat to him personally to bring in Jay Rasulo, because Rasulo could easily do his job and probably do it better than Iger, because he seems like he has the love of the company that Iger doesn't have.
You can refute Peltz. How are you going to do this to your own person?
Yeah, because, I mean, look, if you're looking for somebody that has experience, like if you're nominating a new board member and you go to them like, yeah, this guy's got like 40 years of experience with the company.
Meanwhile, they just added 2 board members, one of which is somebody from Morgan Stanley, who Disney always kisses their ass. And the other one, it has connections to Disney because they were ahead of another company that used Disney Plus for years, or Disney Channel for years. So they both have connections to Disney. And the Morgan Stanley guy was still in charge over at Morgan Stanley, and they were the ones doing the evaluation for Hulu for Comcast, which I think would seemingly possibly be a conflict of interest. That's my opinion.
Well, okay, so speaking of conflict of interest, what is coming up now is that Disney's like, well, we'll take it under consideration. They're trying to argue that Trian Partners should be ignored because the majority of the shares that they're using are Ike Perlmutter's.
So what?
And Perlmutter has an axe to grind with them. But
they're arguing that now. But here's the thing. When they first tried to do this last year, when the first proxy threat happened last year, Perlmutter came out and backed trying because, I don't necessarily disagree with him. And then Disney turned around, or Iger turned around and fired Perlmutter as soon as Peltz decided that they were going to let it go. Like, okay, you're going to get rid of people, okay. And then they said, oh, it's part of our restructuring, and then they got rid of him. Don't tell me about axes to grind when you fucking did it to begin with. You wouldn't did that because you're pissed at him to start with. I mean, at least that's how it comes across. So don't try to sit there and say that. I mean, if you didn't have double standards, you'd have none, I guess. We're going to do another video talking about Disney's double standards.
Oh, yeah.
But you got rid of him because you're pissed, and now you're trying to argue that. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that. But so what? If Tryon has control of Ike Perlmutter's shares, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. So, but that's what because I think they're afraid of it. I think they were afraid of this. I think they're afraid of Peltz coming on the board because Peltz has been hypercritical about Disney's content output.
Needs to be.
Perlmutter did not want Marvel to go in the direction it went in. I mean, some of his ideas were pretty damn stupid.
Perlmutter's not always right either, which I've said before.
Yeah, but he was like, yeah, if you replace all the main characters with a bunch of stand-ins and female characters that nobody cares about, things are going to come off the rails. We saw it with the Marvels. I think the Marvels is going to wind up being one of the biggest catalysts that they can use to show that Disney is screwed. I mean, between that and Wish, like these are two things that should have been huge hits.
Well, interestingly,
they blew it up.
Interestingly enough, because all this stuff keeps bombing. We have announcements of different things like they have the new Captain America: Brave New World was pushed back like 6 or 7 months because of the strikes, and now they've hired somebody else to write more content, and they're reshooting next spring and summer. By the way, it sounds more like the usual few days to 2 weeks that they usually do reshoots. It sounds like it's an extensive period of time, which tells me they're probably redoing the whole damn thing. And then you have the Daredevil issue where they basically had half filmed, fired everyone, and brought in a new team, and they're going to try to use what footage they can keep, but have to redo it all. Or a lot of it, they were starting at zero to do this because they have to rethink their plan because it's not working and fans hate it.
I think with everything with Disney, I think what we're going to see is for Disney to actually get fixed, they're going to have to, I think, start over with a lot of stuff. Like and I don't know if they can't because you're talking years for the machine to spin back up again. If you just looked at Star Wars, Marvel, and animation and said, you know what, let's just, everything that we're doing right now, let's just stop it, fix it, and then move forward, you're talking probably a 5 or 6 year gap.
This whole thing.
Content.
This whole thing, and I'm going to argue, we have other videos coming that we can argue the same thing for these other situations that we're going to talk about. This whole thing happened because y'all listen to Twitter, basically.
Yeah.
And these people that now you don't want to listen to at all because it's not run by your people. But you listen to all these people and they're telling you that you were terrible people, so you made all these changes. You took the train, and instead of being like, okay, the train's chugging ahead, our main core audience, this is our 90% of what our audience is and what they want. We're going to go that way. And you're moving ahead. And what you did was instead of just like stopping the train slightly and being like, okay, you guys can get on too. We'll make some, accommodations and things we'll offer some more diversity inclusion in among, but we'll keep on the train where it's going. But we'll make sure we add that in too. Get on board too. We'll make more seats. Instead of doing that, you fucking derailed the train, went off a cliff because they told you to. A very small group told you to, and you fucked yourself over.
Yeah, pretty much.
And which is okay until you fuck investors over, and then you got to answer for it.
Yep. Eventually, you got to pay the tab, right? And Disney's been running up quite.
Now they're trying to pull the train out of the ravine, and that's going to be really hard to do at this point.
You just need a new train at that point.
Pretty much.
I don't know what else to tell you. Like this company it's shocking how far they've fallen in such a short period of time. Disney has fallen farther, further, faster than like any other company that's hopped on board the woke train.
I've never seen it. I've never seen like it. If you have like 100 people and like 10 of them want one thing, but the other 90 people want something else, you usually go with what the 90 people want. You might make some concessions to try to make some other people happy to have them join the 90 people. You're not going to go with the 10 people and then burn the whole damn thing down. That doesn't make any sense.
If you have activists in charge, I mean, you talk about Susan Arnold, and it's like they're like, hot damn, Disney's one of the biggest entertainment companies on the planet. This is a hell of a platform. Let's take it and use it to affect change. And all that happened was the stock price changed. It went way the hell down. And
there's a way that you can have your cake and eat it too, but they don't do that.
No, it's I think at this point the gravy train is over. All right. The money.
It's in a ravine.
It's in a ravine. The gravy train. The gravy's all over the damn place. It's gonna stain everything. But no. So the free money's run out. The venture capital's run out. People are tired of paying for shit that's shit, and they're going to have to pivot to profit. They're going to have to look at like, okay, what do consumers, our customers, actually want? That's what we have to make. You know, we have to put that first. It doesn't matter if you don't have a platform. You don't have a platform if you don't have money coming in.
Right.
And that's what these companies don't understand.
And you can't argue. You can say one movie was a fluke. Okay, yeah, it didn't do well. But we're talking like a consistent pattern. Every movie you put out this year did shit. And I would argue every movie you put out in the last, except for like Avatar, pretty much most of the movies you put out in the last 2 years have done shit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the last Marvel movie that did well was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but that's because it was like the conclusion of Guardians, and you already had built up that fan goodwill before. All your other movies and most of your shows bombed.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. You the gravy's everywhere. You're not getting that thing back in that train. So I don't know what to tell you. You have to make a new train, but you need people in charge who know what the hell they're doing and are going to try to fix it.
I was just thinking, once the gravy spurts out, you can't put it back in.
Why did you? Okay.
Because I'm just thinking of a train with
Yeah,
a hole in the side with the gravy just like
that's what
all
you're thinking.
place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the kids are like, "Mommy, why is it raining gravy?" I don't know. Anyway, I think it's time to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.